What's up everybody, Mu'adh here and welcome to a new episode from Fluency First. Well, this video is going to be a little bit different. I am going to tell you something that nobody actually wants to say it. Studying grammar is the worst thing a learner can do when they are learning. I am also going to tell you the best proven practice that would make you tackle the grammar from a different angle. And at the end of the video there will be a bonus tip. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Mu'adh. I am a professional English language teacher. Fun fact is that I was born and raised in a non-English speaking country. I learned English from scratch on my own. I never had any English classes, no private lessons, no courses, nothing like that. I just wanted to learn the language and I did that myself. I teach English out of passion. This is not my major, this is not my study, though I have obtained a certificate as an English language teacher. Without any further ado, let me start talking about today's topic. Alright, so here's the thing. First of all, when you spend hours studying grammar and then you get to the point where you need to talk, where you need to start practicing this grammar, it would actually work perfectly only if you are in a test. So if you are in a test and there's a question that requires you to use that grammar, you would do excellent and you would score the highest possible score. But when you get to the point where you need to actually interact with someone in English, there comes the obstacle. Because at this point of time, you don't see clear questions. You don't know what this person, what the other person is going to say to you. So your brain needs to produce thoughts interactively to respond to that person and interact with him. But in the exam, you have a paper and you look at the questions, you think for a few seconds, maybe a minute or a couple of minutes, and then you remember everything and then you start writing. But a conversation with someone requires a spontaneous response. So it's like he says something that you didn't know that he's going to say it, and then you need to respond to that. So here comes the obstacle, as I said at the beginning. Well, why does that happen? That actually happens because you didn't train your brain on this. What I'm saying is that studying grammar is going to help you pass a test, but it won't help you become fluent. And now let me answer this question: how to become fluent? How to be able to produce thoughts spontaneously so that you can respond to people talking to you without taking very long time to think or to analyze the information or the questions they are saying. Well, that only happens by practicing. Before I tell you what exactly to do, let me ask you a question. When you were born, did you have a first language that your parents had to use in order to explain to you your native language? No. So how did you learn your native language? The answer for this question is the key. You didn't actually learn your native language. You acquired your native language. There's a big difference. Now, how to acquire the English language as you acquired your native language? It's very simple. The process goes like that. He is all the time exposed to this language. He sees cartoons in this language. He hears her parents talking in this language. His siblings, his relatives, everybody around him speaks this language. So exposure. Exposure is the first thing. You need to be surrounded, or you need to be exposed to the language for as long as possible. Maybe an hour, couple of hours a day, depends on your schedule or your working schedule, your lifestyle. You could watch a movie every day. You could listen to a song with the lyrics on. If you have the advantage of living in a country where there are many people who can speak English, then take that chance and talk to them in English for as long as possible. It simply is like a practice. You train your brain on doing something, it just becomes better at it. So that was number one. Number two is don't be afraid of making mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. Everybody makes mistakes when they speak, especially in the process of learning that language or acquiring that language. What I'm trying to say is that making mistakes is exactly how your brain learns. So if you make a mistake and there's somebody around you that can tell you, well, that's a mistake, you could say it in a better way, is very good. If you're about to say something, or if you have already said something and you are uncertain of if it's right or wrong, or if it should have been said in a different way, then try to remember, try to think of it, try to write it down on the notes on your phone or on a paper. Just Google it. It's 2021 now. We all have access to the internet everywhere, every time. I'm going to say the same thing. It's unlimited source of information. Number 3, don't study grammar. Don't study grammar. Once again, you may write sentences, complete sentences. If you are unsure about a particular tense, don't try to study this tense. Don't try to memorize how it is formed and how it works and all this. Just write down few sentences where this tense is used and remember these sentences. So tackle the grammar difficulties by just memorizing complete sentences where this tense is there. Let's suppose that you are confused about the past continuous. Let's just take it as an example, and you don't know how it works. Sometimes you say I was go, or I was went, or whatever the mistake you often make. Doesn't matter, just try to write down some sentences. For example, I was going to work yesterday when I met my friend in the street. I was watching the TV last night when my phone rang. Just write few sentences where this tense is there. Keep repeating them, memorize them as they are, and you don't need to think of how the grammar in this sentence is formed. Just memorize these sentences, and the more you repeat these sentences, the more your brain gets used to the form and how this works. Again, just like how a baby learns his native language, by repetition. When a baby hears his parents saying something, he simply repeats it. This is how it works. I guarantee you, in a matter of a year, you can achieve fluency. That is coming from someone who has already learned the language himself. And number 4 is how you deal with new vocabulary. There's a very interesting article that I was reading lately, and it is about how to memorize things like vocabulary, like names, like whatever you want to memorize. I can link the article in the description box below the video. You can check it out yourself. And for those who don't really like to go through the internet checking stuff and reading about any of the language corner, here is the ultimate advice. Remember, at the beginning of the video I told you there will be a bonus step. This is something that I always keep on telling my students, the learners, anyone who wants to learn a language. Please do not attend English classes with a teacher that is teaching you in your first language. Do not watch educational videos in your first language. Trust me, that hurts your brain badly. You will never get over this level where you're at. Do you want real improvement in your language skills? You can watch educational content in English, because the same thing happens again. If you are watching educational content in your first language, your brain thinks in your first language. Your brain understands the language, the English language, in your first language. And this is not gonna help you in real life situations. This is not gonna help you become fluent. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button and share it with someone who is interested in learning the language, someone that is trying hard for years to learn the language. Share with them this little secret of mine. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already. If you have any questions, you know where to write them in the comment section below the video. Thank you for watching, and I wish you a happy learning journey.